fight with a broadsword and a targe.
Yes, we farmed potatoes next to each other. I remember that.
We fought the Campbells.
Yeah. Okay, so hey everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to the Ginge and Pedro show.
Yeah.
I am, of course, your host, Montgomery Gentry. Alongside me, one Percival McGingillagoody.
Exactly.
Hey. How you doing, Mr. McGingillagoody?
I'm doing great, dude. Like, Panama is hot as balls for the last month, dude. It's like 100s every day, but I'm sweating, so I'm dropping the pounds. So that's good.
Hey, you look good, buddy. Your head's smaller.
Yeah, and I got myself a new smoker, so that was good. I got that today.
Very nice.
Nice cast iron grates. Yeah, I'm gonna start grilling some awesome stuff.
Very nice. So, my dad doesn't know it yet, but he's getting a black stones. What's it called? A griddle. He's just getting like the company's Blackstone.
Blackstone. Yeah, I know them.
Right, the griddle. My dad's gonna get that for
sweet.
I think his birthday, which is in August.
Cool. But, he's a griller too, or
yeah, he's a griller, but he's never really had. They've got an all right grill, but he's never really had anything like that. And
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I look forward to using it as well. I'm a
He's gonna be stoked. He's gonna be stoked.
Yeah. I get it too now as I've gotten older. It took me till about 25-ish roughly till I started like walking through Walmart and just head turning at grills like, ooh.
Yeah, dude, that's my problem, man. I get my women fat because I just barbecue that well, baby.
Woo! There you go. Oh, hey, that's not bad. Let's say hello to Max Devill real quick. Hey. Atrocity Press.
What up, man?
What up?
Shut up, Bert.
Jesus.
Too late for that. Jesus.
He was very loud. That was a very loud bird.
Jesus Christ.
I think it's safe to say it. I've fallen in love with a parrot of some sort. There's this parrot on YouTube. It's I think it's a cockatiel. It's a big one, white.
Yeah, it's a cockatiel.
Oh, she's the sweetest bird. Her name is Sweet Pea, and she just comes up to you very slowly, and then crawls you, and then dances on your arm, and then makes the sweetest little noises.
Have you seen the claws on that monster?
I have.
I don't trust them.
No, it's the beak. I actually got pecked in the eye by a chicken as a kid.
Well, but chickens go to the pot. With a parrot or a cockatiel, like that beak is dangerous, but those claws will tear you up. That's how they roll. Yeah.
Hey, there's a little sneak preview. We do have some important business to get to, buddy. This isn't just any ordinary show as it stands.
We're not shooting the shit.
I know. We'll get lost in that sauce. So let's go ahead and bring out our third chair. Somewhat. He's a rotating chair. He might be in, he might be out. You know him, you love him. The host and man behind the madness, Pops Van Musk. Oh God. Please don't make me do stuff. Heard that?
What's up?
What's up, Pops? Thanks for coming by, sir.
We are now the founder of the X Comic Network. Thank you very much.
All right. Are we changing the logo from Crom to? No, Pedro's got the idea. Here we go.
Actually, it was inspired by those guys.
But I see the X's there.
Yep, you see the X's.
Yeah. Right? Reminds me of my married life. It's only X's.
Did she look like that as well? Or
No. Actually, I've always dated beautiful women that they stopped standing me. So that's kind of like how I've rolled so far.
That tall king status over there in Panama.
Yeah.
So it looks
great on paper.
Spammed when I sent this show out to 50 different Facebook groups. Sorry, but not really sorry, because we're trying to sell books. That's why we're here.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is actually a follow-up episode, let's say, to friend of the show. I believe we hosted his first launch party. I got a feeling we're going to do the next two as well.
Yeah.
This is for my personal friend who I've made throughout my 3 years in comics here. You make friends, but then you make, good friends. I'd consider you guys good friends. I'd consider Ty a really good friend, somebody I spend a lot of time talking to pretty much every day. great dude, great writer, great artist, Ty Ranger. Hey, buddy.
All right.
Dude, how am I supposed to follow that?
It's all
Be excellent. Do it.
Be excellent
Don't
to each
fuck
other.
this up.
Yeah.
Dude, I think this is the 4th show.
Mm.
You guys were the ones that first reached out when I was saying I was making a comic and I didn't know about marketing. You guys
Oh,
reached
cool.
out to me. It was back when your show was at like 7 in the morning.
Oh, Jesus.
I remember those
Was it
days.
7? Was it 7 or 8? I don't quite remember the time, but
It was
yeah.
9. It was 9.
Was it? Was it?
And
It was
was
7 to me because I'm on the far
East Coast,
far west.
the West Coast. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah. It was 9 and it was stupid. Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was hard.
So,
That was
You
hard.
did that. You did the launch party, like you said, and I think you did the closeout one too.
All right. Hot damn.
There you go.
It's all blending together here, buddy. We got to
Yeah.
kick you out of here sometimes.
True. I was thinking now it's a tradition, but we could go with that too if you really want.
Yeah.
Never
Oh,
again. But let's we do have something to celebrate here. Obviously, we're talking launch party. I just want to throw this up real quick. In the chat, for all those that are listening, we do have the Indiegogo. The book is almost halfway funded at 44%, which is fantastic. So great job, man.
Pinned to the top of the
Thank you.
chat over there in the Madness YouTube channel.
Wonderful. Awesome. Thank you, Pops. Yeah, we got that pin. So guys, please, we're going to go over it here as we go through the campaign. If you find that it catches your eyes, by all means, let's try to get this thing funded within an hour. That's the goal here. We want some backers, but we're shooting for funded in an hour. So
Yeah.
let's see what we can do here.
This thing funded.
Shooting for the moon.
Our friend Doran Corkum from Whitefire Comics, that's the guy that put Joe here, Joe the skeleton head. That's the guy that put Joe on the cover of a comic.
Hey, very nice. All right,
It's-
this is my first time meeting Joe.
It's
What's up, Joe?
Joe hangs out with Lucifer's buddy.
Okay.
The fox, or he's got that fox lamp. Is that what it is?
The horn head or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Different.
Very nice. Very good. I like Lucifer. Not the actual Satan, but the guy. He's a nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, he knows it's Joe. It's Joe.
Joe. I like
I hear
Joe.
it's also a pretty good comic.
It is. It is. Quint is a really good.
Very nice. Yeah, wonderful. So
All that
speaking
stuff
of,
Has been good, but we're not here to talk about other people, although we always do because selling books is what we do. But this is like Ty's moment. You gonna pull that one up so we can look at it?
oh,
Shut up,
absolutely.
phone. Sorry.
Pedro, you're fired.
Yeah, this
No,
freaking phone.
you're-
Let me put it in silent.
Yeah, but
Silent. Silence.
what's
Thank
the rule on addressing people in movie theaters when they've got their phone out? The last few movies I've been to, that's been the case. And
Oh,
it's
a
been,
brick to the back of the neck works.
I mean,
I was about to say just stare at him like.
Nah, dude, a brick is more direct.
True.
They get the message
Rick is more direct.
like this. Yeah.
I don't know. You can't ask people anything without there potentially being a showdown. It's like, you're not supposed to be on your phone. It's just very irritating. I was watching The Evil Dead and the new one in theaters, like opening weekend, and within the first 15 minutes, this couple
Dick.
in front of me is playing on their phones. Yeah, it made me pretty. Gingers are known, I think. That's the stereotype, is we get angry easily. I gotta admit that.
Do you?
No.
I do a good job of controlling it, but I mean,
Uh-huh.
I've been a fiery redhead at times in my life. This is
I
true.
don't
That was
know.
one of those moments.
I've done it, but then it's like people are short down here, so it's kind of like a Godzilla thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
go.
You're just Godzilla over
Yeah,
everybody.
just go like P5. Oh, yeah, it's just not good.
Okay. Well, all right. Enough of your humble bragging of being tall.
Yeah.
Let's talk comic books. So, Ty, give us a brief scenario or a brief synopsis of the first book, and give us a little bit of that, and then how we ended up here with book number 2.
Okay.
Tell us what we got too, by the way. What is this? What are we looking
This is The Undying Chronicle, The First Death It's one of a hopefully prequel series that I'm going to make leading up to the graphic novel. So this is a funny story as far as I'm concerned. When I first wanted to do comics, there was an anthology that accepted from anybody. So I tried a bunch of stories, and this, The Undying, is the first one that I actually sent in. And I'm pretty happy I was rejected because I went, okay, whatever, started working on other stories, but it just wouldn't leave me alone. I don't know if you ever have one of those where you're like, well, if I just add this, maybe this will explain more. So maybe that was it. That was too short because it's only 8 pages. And I just started working on it. And then before I knew it, it was a 72-page graphic novel.
Oh, yes.
Which would have been longer if I did not find an editor who was very good at, no, you're repeating yourself. You don't need this. Cut this whole page. She did that twice, and rightfully so. The story moves better.
Right.
Cool. So I did that last year, and I put out a campaign, and it got funded. And I just kept thinking about the character, and went, let's talk about how he got his powers. Why is he linked to these monsters of myth and folklore? And kind of go in more depth on what it is to undie, which is one of his powers. So that's how we got here.
Okay, wonderful. And I know my big fat head is usually in the way, normally, but for my efforts of promoting and just generally being a fantastic guy, Ty gifted me this original page.
Oh, dude, look at that.
Book. Yeah, man.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. This middle panel, love that hand and that blade. Very nice. So, and this is a really iconic image within the Undying universe. So very cool to have that. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, man. Like I said, you guys were the first ones that reached out and let me come on and talk about my crazy ideas for a samurai fighting monsters that's not an anime or manga style.
Yeah, that's different right there.
Yeah.
I'm not drawing the manga style, but I'm doing a Japanese inspired story that already caught my eye. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I felt part of it was I liked the crossover between the westerns, which my dad really liked, with the roaming gunslinger, and the crossover with the roaming samurai warrior going from village to village, town to town. So I was thinking, I'm going to keep at least the art not completely Japanese, because that feels a little too on the nose.
Yeah.
But I also spent a hell of a lot of time researching the Japanese elements that I put into the book. They're all folklore monsters that are in there. I have a couple friends that live over in Japan, so I'm always, hey, can you help me understand this? Can you tell me how to pronounce that? Which I always pronounce everything wrong anyway.
That's what this is, right? Yeah, not a Tengu, no,
it's
but
a kappa.
A kappa, right?
A kappa.
Right.
A kappa.
Yeah.
That's the turtle demon with water on the head.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
So I did tweak the lore a little bit. I made them bigger in my book than they are in the folklore. And I also knew that this one was going to be kind of subterranean. So when I looked at underground monsters, I found these things called Ugomo. It's actually there's several names. One of them is much longer, and I was originally going to go with that. But then I found out that it's apparently used as a derogatory term for some clans in Japan. So I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I don't think I want to risk that.
You don't want that hate.
That's the Japanese N-word? Is that what this is?
No, yeah. I don't know if it's that bad, but my friend in Japan, when I was telling him about that, he goes, oh, that's kind of a good idea, because he knows someone that plays RPG games, tabletops. So he made like this whole thing of different turtle monsters for the RPG, and English was not his first language. So one of the turtles was called a wetback.
Oh.
And he did not know that was not an okay term.
Oh, dude, that would
literally was thinking
I would
Just
play. I would play that character.
so
You
I'm like,
know,
I don't want to do that.
What am I? I'm a WB.
Yeah, so that's
He
why
loves
I
corn.
double check with
Yeah.
my actual Japanese friends to make sure I'm not doing something stupid like that.
So Ogamu, that was a sort of a derogatory term for.
No, the long name.
The long name, it's
Okay.
Sushecho no Gumu, something close to that.
It sounds
Good try.
horrible.
Good
It sounds
try.
horrible. Yeah.
It's basically when they were doing the why am I spacing on the name? The wars between the samurai clans.
The warring states, or is that China?
That's China. That's China. The Warring States.
Yeah, the samurai ones where they still had the emperor shogunate.
The shogunate. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. So
Where,
apparently, some of the smaller clans were referred to as underground spider dwellers.
Oh,
Interesting.
So it kind of means the same thing. So I'm not going to risk that.
nah.
I want my book to be popular, but not popular for that sort of a reason.
Yeah. No, you want it to be famous, not infamous. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
I don't need that press.
Yeah, I've been sort of kicking this idea around. You know, it's like
Oh,
if there's one last nation, like if there's any nation I don't want to get like re-imperial, or like if there's just people you don't want to piss off, really, it's like the Japanese.
You know what?
Dude, ninjas and samurais. I mean, if they're gonna send the ninjas at you, you're out here talking
dude,
shit.
like, you want something to stay where it is, the Mongol Empire.
Oh God.
You want that to
Good
stay
point.
put, because the last time those guys went out, they conquered like 3/4 of the world, and dude, the massacres were like no.
Man.
They even invaded Japan. The thing is, like
Yeah.
the weather took care of them, but yeah,
Right.
like that game Ghost of Tsushima, that's based on a true story, man. Those guys mopped the floor with the Japanese.
That's
So-
actually the term for kamikaze comes from that too.
Yeah. The
Right.
winds of God. Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's I don't know if you guys have caught the Dan Carlin series, the Hardcore History series on the Mongols. I mean, Joe Rogan would talk about it from time to time. That's how I caught wind of it. But it's a hell of a series, like mountains of human skulls, like just put in middles of roads.
Dude, you want to be really scared? Check out this metal Mongolian band called Dahu. It's HU Dahu. And those guys use like the Grudower singing, and all the song is like Arise Mongol Empire again, and let's bathe in the
God.
blood of the world. And it's like, nah, dude, no. Just stay there.
It's a hard message to get behind, boys.
Yeah, it's like, whew.
One of their songs is actually in Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah. I mean, the band's really cool, though. They're like,
Yeah, I like 'em.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like,
Very nice, though. Cool. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. But I wish the band good luck.
yeah, the
Anyways.
band's awesome, but don't get out of Mongolia
Right.
on
Okay,
horses.
so
More than 10.
speaking
And I
of
will
catchy
say,
tunes, go ahead.
I
Tom,
will
sorry.
say that one of the things that also inspired this is I used to really like this show called Destination Truth. And his whole shtick, it was kind of like those ghost hunting shows that were everywhere for a while, but he was looking for monsters and creatures, so he would go to like Papua New Guinea, so like places you might actually expect. Like he did a Yeti in the Himalayas, where he's actually in the Himalayas, as opposed to like camping in the Pacific Northwest.
Sounds like a rejected Goosebumps book. Yeti in the
It
Himalayas.
is, but it exposed me to all these folklore creatures from around the world that I had no idea about whatsoever. Like the most like south of the U.S. border thing I could think of would be a chupacabra before that show.
Right, the chupa.
But
Oh my
then there was
God.
ones about giant ground sloths that had eyes in their stomachs, and giant anacondas and all this other stuff. And the kappa is actually something I learned about from Ninja Turtles 3, and then from his show because he was looking for one. So
Very nice. Okay.
just wanted
Wow.
to throw that out there as an extra tidbit. I don't know why it popped in my head.
No, you're good, buddy. And any time we can send a special thank you to Ninja Turtles 3, I think, I will pause and take that moment. So
I know. That alone might get me canceled, right?
No, come on. I love those movies. It's been a long time, but I grew up on them, so maybe I was too young to really know whether or not they were any good, but I remember them fondly.
The first one, I think, most people think is pretty darn good. The second and the third, you'll get mixed opinions, I think.
Did they ever find the secret of the ooze?
They did,
Did they? Okay.
but it wasn't a secret for anyone that watched the cartoon. It's scientists made ooze, and it turned them into giant Ninja Turtles.
Well, there you go.
Dude, whenever you say ooze, I remember Ivan Ooze.
Ooh,
From
that was the first movie I
Rangers.
saw. Yeah, in
Yeah.
theaters, the first
From
Power
the-
Rangers movie. Yeah. That's a great movie, dude. That's a great movie. I
you like
rewatched
it?
that recently.
I don't know, man.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
too old for it. I was too old for it. Like I watched it, like this is dumb. What am I doing?
Yeah. Well, unless you were a Power Rangers fan.
Yeah, exactly.
you
I
probably
was
would-
too old for the Power Rangers, so I got that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is not for me. So I kept quiet. But I mean, my cousins were like going through the wall, like, oh my God! I was like, okay.
Ty, what was the first movie you saw in theaters? You remember?
I don't. One of the earliest ones, though, was James and the Giant Peach.
All right.
And
Tim
I do
Burton.
remember that because it was the last movie my grandmother ever saw in a theater. She took me, and it's not like she passed away right afterwards. It was just she was done going to the movie theaters.
Okay.
That's what I thought. I'm not gonna lie, Mike. So you killed her then. You took her to that, and that was it.
No, but man, some of that stuff could scare the crap out of you if you haven't seen it. It's proto Nightmare Before Christmas.
Right. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. Like I have vague memories of going to films before, but I don't remember the movies. Like the first movie I remember is Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo, 1977. I was 3 years old, and they took me to see that. And
Is that like the Panamanian version of Ernest Goes to Something? Is that like the
no,
Ernest version?
Herbie was like this.
He was the love
Volkswagen-
bug, man.
The love bug. Yeah, the love bug.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
I only know the Lindsay Lohan reboot, and I
Oh
didn't
my
watch
God,
it. I just
dude.
remember it.
The first movie's from 1968. So yeah, there's been several love bugs before that.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
Lindsay Lohan. I think it's called like Herbie Does Coke, right? The one with
Herbie
Lindsay
Does
Lohan.
Herbie does coke and drives into a ditch.
Exactly.
God, that's what a sad ending. Was that what happens to like a lot of the famous cars like Knight Rider?
I mean, with Lindsay Lohan in the
behind the
cast,
wheel.
yeah.
Okay, good point.
I
All right,
can see
gang.
that happening.
Well, let's get back to the book here. Sorry, Ty. This is already a mess, but
It's okay.
Dude, I've
Yeah.
been on your shows. I know going off the rails is standard.
Yeah.
that's what we like to do. Hello, Kayla. She says, just stopping by. I am
Yeah.
driving home now. Very nice.
Yeah, going off the rails is our safe space, basically.
Yes, actually. She just said, wanted to say I'm super proud of you, Ty. There we go. Kayla's the editor of
Thank you, Kayla.
both books.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yes,
she edited both of them actually.
Oh, cool.
It was while she was doing the stuff with Death Curse quite heavily about 2 years ago. I reached out to her and I was just asking for advice on how to find an editor. And I was telling her about the book and she liked it. So she's like, I'll edit for you.
Sweet.
And I'm really happy she did. She's a really, really good editor. And she's also very good at telling me when I need to shut up, which is a skill most people talking to me need to have.
Yep.
Plead the
'Cause,
fifth.
I've
Yeah,
kissed
dude.
the Blarney Stone, and it just,
I have a couple of those, but I keep them in my inbox.
Very nice. So let's hop over here to the trailer, Ty, because I know you could sort of maybe comment on you had to throw this thing together because you had forgotten, but the way you pulled it off, buddy, you couldn't even tell here.
okay.
Mm.
I'll just say this song reminds me of a Rammstein tune.
Yeah, I can hear it too.
Get one of those leather suits that don't have nipples.
I hear you drumming in the background there, Ginge.
I can't help it, dude. This song takes a hold of me.
He's a drumming fool.
That is what I started with
Ah.
back in the day. Yeah, motherfuckers.
Very cool, man.
Yeah, bitches. Very nice, buddy.
Thank you. So I did a trailer for the first campaign, and that's where I made that song. And I didn't realize that Indiegogo now requires you to have a video when you go to launch.
They do.
Yeah, at least it had that little red asterisk next to it.
That was news to me as well, Pedro. I just recently,
Yeah.
like 2 days ago, Ty mentioned
I
this.
mean, that's not a problem for us, but
Right.
Well,
Kind of
yeah.
silly to require it, though, I think.
yeah, it's just silly.
I think it's more for the other people, the ones that have to do like their infomercial pitches for their products.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shark
Yeah.
Tank style here.
Yeah, I had the song from the other one, and I'd already done a little teaser trailer.
Gotcha.
But I wasn't as happy with that song, just because I'm doing it all in GarageBand, and I don't have the coordination to do a lot of the cooler effects while you're on there. So I didn't really want that as the main trailer, but that's where the little quote-unquote animation came from. So I took that and the old song, and I kind of tried to blend them together with putting the pages that were going to be on the campaign in there, as well as a little bit of the storytelling, because I do not have the epic movie guy voice, right? I'm not going to be able to do coming soon to Indiegogo.
That's actually not bad. I mean, just listening to your voice, you kind of do have it a little bit. Honestly, your voice is deep and sort of got some gruff on it. Go smoke some cigarettes and then give it another try.
Oh, I already do that. So the animation, I'm saying quote unquote because there's a real animator here.
Where?
Right. Not you, Pedro. He means me.
Yeah, I've seen your bouncing ball practice.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically a time lapse in Procreate. So I just have the picture up and I do lightning bolt at a time, and then when I play it back as the time lapse, it looks like animation.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's actually animation. It's how it's done. So
it walks like a duck and animates like a duck.
Exactly. It is a duck. The duck of death.
Nice. You can put that on your list of things now, Ty. You can animate, buddy. Congrats.
Yeah.
Well, I can animate lightning. How about we go with that?
There you go. Lightning animated.
That's my specialty.
Very nice.
So what you had on the screen right there, I did not want to do variant covers. And I ended up with two, just because that first one with the knife and the big spider and him laying there, that was me one night being sleep deprived, and I all of the portals, like what you see on the next page there, all of those I go into Procreate, and that's where I do the extra detail around the edges for that and for lightning. Mainly because it's much harder to color if that's in pen for me, since I do the coloring too.
Right.
So I realized that I had like this modern art piece if I overlaid all of those layers on top of each other. If you see in the back, they're kind of squiggly lines and everything. That's from the overlays. And then I was just like, I wonder if I could turn this into a cover. And then the next day I posted it on Twitter. And I'm like, okay, so I had fun with this, but I don't think it's going to be the cover. And I had a bunch of people go, no, that needs to be the cover. And then other people wanted the other cover. So now everyone gets both covers.
Hey,
Hey,
very nice. And I like both. I like it as a dual cover because both of those pieces are very cover worthy. So I'm going to drop the Indiegogo here for everybody. If anything's caught your eye yet, we'll hit the perks here soon. But yes, very nice. Okay, buddy. So could you get us up to speed a little bit here? Let's say we missed the first book. What are we, without necessarily giving away this one? What's the connective tissue that can start us off? If we picked it up here?
Let me go with this. You could read this one and don't need to read the graphic novel. You don't need to read the graphic novel to get this one. They're the same character, two completely different scenarios. They're only linked as in their moments in his life. I wanted to make sure that this was a good jumping off point.
Mm-hmm.
So it answers vague stuff I put in the first book. So if you like the first book, fills you in more. But I also didn't want somebody to miss out if they didn't read the first book.
Right.
I was trying to go more episodic because I'm sure everyone's had that one series where they like it, but it's paced for the trade. So you're like, I don't know what happened 5 issues ago. I didn't find this until issue 3. Now I'm confused. So I was trying to not do that. And that's basically going to be how I continue if I am able to do more prequels. So it's just little things like the next one, which I've already started working on. It does start where this ends, and there will be a little connective tissue there. But there will be enough in the opening for you to know, okay, something happened. Because as Ginge knows, I like doing narration scrolls.
Yes.
So from there, it turns into how he gets his weapon that shows up in the graphic novel. So once again, doesn't change anything in the graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that I hinted at in the graphic novel that it'll explain, but don't have to read all of them. That's my goal, at least. We'll see how that turns out.
I like it, and it feels fitting for a samurai type, for a sort of wandering swordsman type character. The episodic delivery kind of feels a little more true to that genre.
That's and I also have a thing about TV shows now where they're not episodic. Because I grew up on like Star Trek, Stargate, stuff like that. So usually I just want a show with the characters I know. I don't need to. Oh, what's the Archie one that's on CW?
Riverdale.
Yeah, Riverdale.
I've seen a fair bit of it. It the first season's good because it involves a serial killer, but it's quickly
Devill.
every season is far worse than the one previously.
Yes, from what I've heard, like if you tried to get into it by like season 3, there's so much interconnected back lore that barely makes sense if you watched everything.
Yeah,
that you're
stinks.
confused. So I'm trying to avoid that. We'll see how that goes, though.
This might be blasphemy, but I'm not really a fan of Archie that much to get into, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I just tried it as a redhead. I'm like, all right, we'll see what's happening.
Well,
and
that's fair.
Right. Then there was a time where the CW sort of had its, knew what it was doing, but that time is long gone. I will say this: I've been watching a lot of DC '90s cartoon shows, right?
Okay.
Superman show,
Those
Batman,
were cool, man. Those were
right?
awesome.
The Justice League ones. Here's Ty. You mentioned stuff about TV not being episodic, and this made me think of that. Pedro quit. No,
he rage quit.
Oh, but I know one thing.
Archie.
One thing I've noticed was each season starts off. Here he is. Hey, buddy.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. Welcome back. And hello to Christian Zaffo real quick.
Hey, what's up,
Christian?
man?
What's up, buddy? We got him booked for I think October. I'll have to check my schedule at the end of the show to
Oh
reconfirm. If I got that wrong, Christian, I'm sorry. I have it in the schedule, but
the
to the
year
point.
is filled up.
Yeah, buddy. I'm just I'm just getting it done. I got to do it.
You're a scheduling fool, sir.
I like to do it.
Hey,
I will take it.
That's why I launched when I launched, because this was your first opening.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah, actually.
I will take my hat off, but I don't have any on. So
Okay. I tip my hat to you, but I haven't got a hat.
yeah.
But no, one thing I noticed about the Justice League show and Justice League Unlimited and those things is the first and the end of the seasons usually involve like a 3-episode arc, right?
Mhm, yeah.
Pretty much every episode after that, maybe there's like a mid-season 2-parter or something, but pretty much every episode is episodic. Like you don't need to catch them all in order to, and if you wouldn't be completely lost if you didn't. So I think that is a lost art, Ty, to your point about television. Game of Thrones probably has something to do with that, right?
Mhm.
I imagine.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I
you
did,
reminded me of freaking Justice League Unlimited, man. That intro was the shit, man.
Is that the one that comes becomes Justice League Unlimited?
Yeah.
Justice
Okay.
League, yeah, then leads to Unlimited, which I thought was the coolest thing as a kid because I had gotten a hold of, I believe it was Captain Atom. This was like
Mhm.
7th grade. I'd gotten a hold of some just old school DC and Marvel stuff and had a Captain Atom in really nice shape. And then to see him on Justice League Unlimited, I was like, oh, shit. And really beautiful peak stuff for us comic book nerds. Pedro will return, I'm sure. Go ahead, buddy.
That was my first introduction to the character, The Question.
Right.
Dude, my computer's acting out, guys. Sorry.
You're good, man. No need to apologize.
Uh,
Pops, if you can move Pedro back to the third spot there. It won't. Oh, actually, I can do it.
yeah, you can do that.
Yeah,
I didn't know I could do it.
Yeah.
Just drag.
You can do that, Ginge.
I've been dragging from the bottom this entire time, wondering why the hell it won't work.
Yeah. I don't have
Okay.
cooties, Ginge. We can do it.
Wonderful, buddy. So Christian says, I believe September. Okay, it is September, but we are booked until October. I've got that going on.
There we go.
And just so everyone knows, for some reason my chat's not showing everybody. I have all messages selected, all that stuff. So if someone asks me a question and I don't respond, I'm not being rude. I'm just not seeing this.
We'll make sure you see everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we're broadcasting to 8 different destinations, so if you don't see, we see it. We'll make sure you know.
I appreciate it.
I mean, we're on Twitch. We're all over the place, right? But if somebody asks a question, we'll make sure you know.
I appreciate it.
Indeedy. And okay, so let's get back into the book. So tell us about your creative process from book 1 to book 2. Did you already know what you wanted to do, or was there a lot of back and forth on the script between you and Kayla, or before you started drawing? Could you tell us about it?
First of all, I was not sure if I was going to do any more when I put out the first book. Mainly, I didn't know if I was going to get funded. And I don't have enough extra cash laying around to do all the stuff, to print it out, and then have like 2 people to sell it to. So I had some ideas, some stuff that I wanted to explore more. And this is where Kayla did come in again. She got to a certain point with me where she's like, more books or I'm not editing. Yeah, I'm not editing more of these pages. You're putting in too much. This story is going to be too long, but you can definitely do other books. Just keep this one more concise, which was great advice for me, especially for my first time doing a bigger book. Because I was doing the whole, I can have as many pages as I want. Well, you really can't.
You really can't, yeah.
And that was for the graphic novel, right? The first one.
Correct. Right. So when it came that I did get it funded, I was thinking like, okay, every character needs an origin story at some point of how they got their powers. I mean, even if it's random X-Men, they're still the understood, they have the X mutant gene, you know what I mean? So I don't have that. I've got to explain why this dude is the way that he is.
Right.
And so I started thinking about ideas, and I was talking to Kayla about that and a few other prequel things that were rolling around in my head. And I went with this one first because I figured if I didn't nail the origin, it doesn't matter what the other ones are like. So this explains how he becomes the Undying. And I went with a dark magic ritual, which I think we can tell by the first page here that Ginge is showing,
Right.
that there's some magics involved. And
my favorite kind over here, the pot smoking magic. Heyo.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, it does look like that's, and I did smoke weed while lettering this page, just to, in case
just
anybody
getting the feel.
Yeah, just if everybody was asking, yeah.
No, sorry. Go on, buddy.
So, talks about that, him like getting the powers, how he understands them at first, and he's also immediately thrown into the situation where these portals open up and giant spider monsters come out. So he doesn't really have time to process everything, which also was able to help me keep in that pocket of, you want it to be 24-ish pages, like a standard floppy. Yeah, don't go into the 36. Keep it short, keep it concise. So that's basically stuff that she was helping me with as we were going. And then she's also really good at telling me that something doesn't make sense and how I need to expand on it, or if I'm being over bloating and that's why it's confusing. So that's kind of how this book came about. I do have some stuff I'm working on for the next book, but once again, I wanted that to be nailed down as good as I can. So I'm still on the very early outlining stages at this point.
So, since you're the writer and the artist, do you typically write the whole script first and then draw, or do you sort of know? Do you start with an ending in mind for the story so you kind of know where you're going, or how does?
Well, with this one in particular, it actually started with a middle page, which is the one with the lightning border that's on the campaign.
Okay.
Down.
This one
I
right
think
here.
it's down. Yeah.
This one or this one? Sorry.
The blue one.
Okay. Yeah, right here.
So that was actually the first page I drew for the book, and it's like halfway into the book. It was, this is the moment that everything changes. How do I get to that moment, and where does it go from there? So normally I do have more of I have a story I want to tell with a beginning, middle, and ending, but this one, this is the moment that has to be the moment. So make sure you can get to it. Make sure that it goes to a concise ending point where you can still continue other stories in case this is the last one.
Very good.
So basically, the ending point is, if nothing else, it can go straight to the graphic novel.
Okay, wonderful. And not a bad way to structure it out, though, to where, they don't have to be connected, but, you do want to sort of funnel readership within your universe that way in a sort of circular type motion. So.
Exactly. And the one you're on is the last page of the book.
Yes.
So what I did there was, like I said earlier, I had been researching all different sorts of monsters, creatures, deities, spirits, all that different stuff. So I put several in there that could show up in other books. I thought it would be cool to at least have the Kappa hidden in there, so you can see this is kind of, these guys go out through the portals, and that's where all the other stories will be coming from.
Got a 9-tailed fox over here, a small one. I see you. Or maybe is that a wolf? But I mean, it's got 9 tails now.
I was going with fox.
Okay, yeah, I figured. I mean, yeah. We've got Sketchy Guy Nevada. Hey, buddy. I think it's the first time we've seen you in the chat here. Thanks for coming by. He says, nothing wrong with the graphic novel approach. Absolutely not. We are graphic novelists as well as comic book nerds around here.
Yeah,
that's why I started with the graphic novel. Quite honestly,
Sketchy Guy is new to the network, new to the madness and everything. He's already come out on the draw stream with us on Sunday and drew with us and stuff. Drew a Crom, guys.
Ooh.
He actually drew a Crom on his first time out. So
Very nice.
Christian also showed up this weekend to the draw stream. It was kind of cool. We had some new people out there drawing. It was awesome.
Very cool.
Sketch, what's up, man?
Very nice. Wonderful. The network grows. Good stuff.
That's right.
So real quick, since we're sharing stuff, I just want to again put this in the chat. If you guys would be so kind, I think it's pinned, but I'm going to post it again. Have this book a look, see what you think, and back her today. That would be wonderful. We're trying to get this thing funded here. So that was all right, great. So let's see. Well, I know you've got a couple other things we can talk about. You've got a tabletop inspiration for this particular issue. So, and I know you were sort of sniffing around some of those other hobbies. You son of a bitch. You think I don't know? No, I'm just kidding. But could you tell us about that? What's it been like? What's the reception been? What did you learn? What did you take away?
Yeah, I found that they have every Sunday in the tabletop community over on Twitter, a self-promotion Sunday. And I was like, well, can I promote my comic book? It's not exactly this, but it's got monsters and fighting. And they're like, sure, go ahead. And so I started doing that, and I got a few pre-launch backers that way. And someone suggested that it would be cool if I did a little monster manual type stat sheet for the creatures. So if somebody wanted to incorporate them into their games, that they could. And I was like, that's actually a really cool idea. That way I can also add to the lore behind the creatures without, side railing the comic,
Right.
So I have a couple of friends that play both D&D and Pathfinder, so they're helping me to make sure that I've got enough you can work with in the game, but I also don't want to have, it has this specific attack that does this specific damage. And I figured this was close enough to the cards that a lot of campaigns do, where they've got the, a trading card where it's got the stats and stuff on the back.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 3 monsters that are in the books, 2 versions of the spider and the kappa here. So I'm making a stat sheet for all of them.
Very nice.
And because I hit my own personal goal of over 20 pre-launch signups, I was like, that's a stretch goal. These things are going in. So we've already unlocked it. They're mostly made, like I said, they're just getting double checked. And I should also mention that any stretch goal that's reached, I'm putting the files in the PDF for the digital copies, because a lot of campaigns I've seen, you just get the book and they don't get any of the stretch goal perks because they're physical ones. So I just wanted to make sure digital people got that too, because I can't do international shipping, so I don't want someone in Australia being like, why do I miss out on all this stuff?
You got to add mate to the end of that. But no, I completely agree, actually. Very thoughtful of you. It's a great point for digital backers. Sometimes you just don't consider that, which we should consider that. So very, very nice. Yeah. Okay, cool, buddy. And I definitely like this. So these are going to be extra pages printed within the book, or?
I don't think I'm going to print them in the book. What I was thinking of doing was, because I put them on 8x10 format. So what I'm thinking of doing is taking some printer paper and then doing like a tea stain, coffee stain type thing on, and then printing them on that. to look more like old timey pages from a book.
Very clever. I did never.
We'll see how that goes. It depends on how many copies I have to do. I don't know if my printer can handle all that T stuff going through it.
Interesting. The poor inkjet is going to just crap out on you halfway through.
Yep, and I think I saw somebody up on the screen. I'm sorry I can't see chat if that was anything to do with me.
Open source monster mashups.
Pretty much from my understanding of how that works. Since these are, I think there's both Kappa and giant spiders in the different games. So I was just trying to make a little twist on it and put some lore in there.
Here's another point, Ty, possibly for you. Sketchy Guy adds T stain after the printing. So
I'd have to see if that makes the ink run. That would be a better way to do it if the ink doesn't run, though.
Right. That's a good point. Okay. No, interesting, though. Very, very good workarounds. Yeah. For Spells and Superheroes, I didn't do this, but we had that battle map, and I definitely was, sort of sniffing around the tabletop communities and just, seeing what they do over there. Very, very welcoming people for the most part. I didn't have any issues with anybody, obviously. Okay.
Yep, I found that there too.
Very nice. Great, buddy. So let's carry on down the page here, because I know we're finally making our way to the perks, but do we want to do the perks along the side here and then talk about the paintings, or do you want to hit the paintings first, buddy? What do you think?
Why don't we hit the paintings first in case that's confusing?
Okay, great. So what are the painting perks?
All right, so besides comics, I really like to do acrylic landscape paintings. And on my first campaign, I happened to have a castle, which I'm spacing on the name. It's a real famous one that's there in Japan. And my friends from Japan actually visited and sent me some pictures. So I had this 11 by 14 of that. And I was just like, let's throw this out there, see if anybody's interested. Not really a normal thing to see on a comics, but whatever. And I think it was like the second or third backer bought that within a couple hours of the campaign going up. And then I got emails or texts from people that I knew. They're like, dude, I wanted that. Why did you only have one? And I'm thinking, because I only had one made.
Yeah, those take a lot of time to make. What the hell?
You gotta strike while the iron's hot, man.
Yeah.
So I heard the feedback and I thought, okay, let's do some paintings on this one.
Yeah.
So they're not as big. They're also not as expensive.
Right.
So there's two sizes I'm doing, and that's 5 by 7 inches and 8 by 10 inches. So whenever you
great,
buy,
dude.
That's perfectly adequate. Like, yeah, it's a good size.
So when you do a physical perk, be it the book or the book bundle, we'll get into that. These will pop up as possible add-ons. And what I'm doing is treating it a bit like a commission sketch. So I'll ask the person that gets it, what orientation do you want? Do you want vertical or horizontal? I'm doing 3 different styles. This is the Undying's Homestead. It's based directly on a page from the book, well, a panel from the book. So you can have one that's this style. And if you go up, Ginge.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. I'm calling this Cherry Blossom Castle at Night.
Fitting. Very nice.
And then there's one more on top, and I'm going with Cherry Blossom Landscape.
This one's great, bro. You've got a really great use
dude.
of greens and creating texture over here. Loving this.
Dude,
Thank you very much.
This looks awesome, but I have to go away for 5 minutes.
We got to get this guy on Doc's show, dude.
Yeah, we do. But I have to go for 5 minutes, and I'll be back because I have something
buddy.
downstairs
Got to
going.
go kill a bird. He'll be right back.
Awesome. Yeah.
No problem, Pedro.
Be
I
right
feel
back.
so bad. Every time I'm on the show, it's a fishmonger or a bird. There's just always someone harassing
I
Pedro when
miss
I'm
the
here.
fishmonger, man.
Yeah.
I miss
think-
that guy.
That
think he
thing
died.
is dead.
Yeah, he died.
Did Pedro
Yeah.
do it?
That
I
You're
still-
ruining my show.
I miss him. He used to be like some comedic relief.
Yeah.
know?
No, he's as much a part of the lore as anything else here.
The roost,
Chocolate anuses,
yeah,
the word
roost,
mensch.
we got lots of things to look back on the Ginge and Pedro show. Smile.
Especially, yeah, coming up on 2 years here. And actually, we're probably over 100 episodes where I've misnumbered a few times, and there's things that I haven't counted as full episodes, but we're going to keep on powering through. So I want to thank everybody for watching, of course, and say hello to a friend of the show. Speaking of, yep, Neostar, the brilliant star that shines through the night, the speeding blur that confounds crime. Riser Man stands before you. Very nice.
Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. So, tell us about your love of painting, buddy. How long have you been at it? Why do you, what about it do you love so much?
I've been at painting for over 13, 14 years now.
Very nice.
I really like detailed, realistic-looking art, but I cannot make detailed, realistic art.
Right.
So I first found painting when I was in college, and I had to do art history classes. And I was like, damn, you can do that with paint? And then I went to a museum on a school function trip thing that had this dude that had these giant Renaissance-inspired pop culture surreal fusion things that he did with acrylic painting. And it was a second, damn, you can do that with acrylic paint?
Right.
Because I tried oil, and I know that stuff got everywhere. I do not know how Bob Ross did that so cleanly, but he did.
It's his happy little secret. He
Yep.
took it to the grave with him, that son of a bitch. I'm just kidding.
So, well, we've got 26 seasons.
We could probably figure it out. He was pretty open about it, actually, now that I think about it. But
So I started painting different stuff then based on like the art history stuff that I was seeing. So even though I'm not religious, I did a couple religious paintings. And I recently posted something on Twitter where I found this 8x10 of a dragon hatching. I did in 2010.
Nice.
So I put it in Procreate, and I made a digital version of it. And I was like, I can actually physically see the difference in my art style and what I'm using over 13 years.
Very nice. I bet that was a fun little trip down memory lane, especially
It was.
having improved.
It really was. And then for landscapes in particular, I did photography in high school, and landscapes were always my favorite thing.
Nice.
And I apparently lived under a rock, so I didn't know about Bob Ross until I was older.
Wow.
Yeah, no kidding.
So once I saw that, I hadn't painted in a while, and we actually, I was the best man for my best friend, and they decided they wanted to do a joint bachelorette party. And one of the activities was watching a Bob Ross and trying to follow along. So I went and I sat through a bunch of them, and I'm like, dude, this guy is awesome, because I'm trying to pick one that we might be able to do.
Right.
Yeah, especially if you don't know how to paint happy little trees.
Exactly.
That's your man.
No doubt.
So I think I watched a good 24 hours of Bob Ross before I even picked up a paintbrush, just being like, must examine wizard moves. Must.
Right. No, he is a wizard, dude. I've watched Bob Ross myself when I was getting into painting, and just to study the master, living, he wasn't alive at the time, but
Yeah,
it's on YouTube.
And that afro, man.
Oh no
Right.
kidding.
Yeah.
He apparently, I watched a documentary about it, and apparently he did that to save himself money early on,
Okay.
and then it became his brand, and he just could not have it anymore.
Yeah.
Imagine him having it on now. Never.
Yeah, that's like shaving. I saw somebody, I don't know if it's real or not, but there's been this photo of this some kind of dog, like a large schnauzer or a large Scottish dog, but they shaved just the top of its head, and it's got like this completely round, bald human head. It's nightmarish. We've got Red Dress Press in the house. Hey, Chris.
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Chris, hey, buddy. Thanks for coming by, my friend. I hope you are doing well, sir.
What's up?
What's up, Chris?
Very nice. Chris is a great guy. Great show. The Morning Brew. Did I get it right?
He just did a little piece over there on his channel wearing the red dress.
Oh no!
So if you missed that, go there and check it out.
Actually, I'm happy I missed it. No offense.
I've actually felt bad about sort of we haven't seriously been messing, like we've just been joking, but I have felt bad. I'm like, I've been too hard on the guy. He's so nice.
Right.
Like, I'm just a bitch.
He's a cool dude. He's a cool dude, but he brought that onto himself.
Oh, I know. Way back in the beginning, I was around when it first started, and I was like, dude, just like don't let him talk you into it. And he let him all talk him into it.
And now he's got a dress.
Well,
he's my dude, Sugar Chris. He's not the Red Dress Press. He's Sugar Chris. Okay.
Sugar Chris. Yeah.
I mean,
I saw the mumu he got, and is he wearing it now, like regularly, or?
Man, it was bad. I was like, really? I mean, you know that meme where you got Captain Kirk and he's holding his hands up and he's like, "Hey, a little warning next time." That's what I have to say to my boy.
Hey, God bless Sugar, man. Piece of shit.
Okay, so guys, let's that got it way out of the rails, but no, I'm just kidding. But let's hop back on over here. So that was the painting, right? So that's the end of the campaign. Let's hop over to the actual perks, and again, the paintings will be available as add-ons. So just for everybody interested.
Any of the physical ones you can get an add-on, and I also have posters that are in the add-ons too. It's the image I'm using right now, actually.
Ty, I just want to throw an open invite to you anytime you want. Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. We have an open draw stream. You're more than welcome to come hang out.
Thank you very much. My problem is that I'm a caregiver, so most of my art time is like 2 in the morning.
Yes, this dude's up till an ungodly hour.
Yeah, it's just how my schedule works, which really sucks because I did want to go on the morning brew, and he said he would be down. The time for me, because of the time zone things, is before the person I take care of wakes up, and I've tried a few test runs and I woke them up.
Okay, well, I'm sure Laurie would do a recorded session with you.
All right.
The morning Tuesday morning brew, you're talking about the one on our network. Laurie would definitely she'd do it anytime you need to. She just checks with me, asks about the schedule. I say, yeah, you can do it then. You come out here at night and you do the Tuesday evening brew. It's like we ain't scared.
Hey, an afternoon pick-me-up. Hey, sometimes you need one of them, a Turkish coffee in the afternoon. Nope.
Hey, ain't that like a sex move?
The Turkish coffee.
Turkish coffee, yeah.
Sorry. I was talking Red Dress Press. I got my wires crossed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if they do recorded episodes, but we have the Tuesday morning brew with Laurie Calcaterra.
Yeah, I remember.
She's been known to do a recorded episode or something.
I remember this clearly. Like, hi, this is Margarita. She performs the Turkish coffee. And,
I don't think I want to know what the Turkish coffee is.
That costs extra, actually.
The Turkish.
I mean, it's a delicious drink, a potentially horrifying sex position.
Probably.
I feel like there's liquid involved.
I'm kind of leaning toward don't want to know.
Yeah,
was
me
like
too.
it was like $60 over the normal price.
I'm definitely leaning toward don't want to know.
Yeah.
I think a wheelbarrow is involved somehow,
Hey,
like the
yeah,
wheelbarrow
probably.
position.
The more it
You know what?
costs,
I'm going to go with this. If you guys ever saw the movie Beer Fest,
Hmm.
when they're picking up the dude and he thinks that they're picking him up for a different reason, a
Oh.
ZJ. What's a
Yeah.
ZJ? If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
You can't
Yeah.
afford
We'll
it.
just go with that.
Yeah, exactly.
If we have to ask, we can't afford it.
Pedro, I think I got a
Yeah.
question for you, buddy.
Do it.
You might be most likely here. Have you ever been to a Turkish prison?
I've never been to Turkey, sir.
me neither. No.
No, me either.
Nope.
I flirted with a
Wanna-
Turkish girl
Yeah.
when I worked at McDonald's for my first job.
Hairy armpits. That's fine.
She was cute. It was we had that student exchange program, and we had a couple Chinese girls and a couple Turkish, and I just put on that game, and then
You put that game on that redhead
Yeah.
sweetness.
No, nothing came of it. I was
Nothing?
just no.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like 17 at the time. I didn't have.
Dude, you gotta romance her with goats. I mean, if she comes from Turkey, like you have to offer her livestock.
That's how they get down, I guess. I don't
That's
know.
how it works down there. Yeah, that's how it works down there. That's how it works down here. Like,
I think this is off the rails for off the rails.
yeah.
That dowry needs 4 feet, man. 4 feet.
Yeah, down in Panama, they're like, dude, I have 9 heads of cattle, baby. I'm like,
It's kind of a pain in the ass, really. It's like,
yeah.
Isn't like 9 head of cattle like almost rich in Panama?
Yeah, you own a town.
you're at least like a small mayor at that point.
Small mayor at that point. It's like, see how many cows I want to put that?
Not to be confused with John Mayer, who is a very
No.
tall mayor, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Tall also.
I'm
Right,
going to
Chris
try to
says-
bring this back around and go. When I looked at the Ogomo, they're actually known as bull spiders too.
There you go. See?
Let me
It's
allow me to
It's all planned, sir.
allow me this one last. I can't stop now. We're on the
Yeah.
roll here.
I know.
Ginge is rizzing the Turkish ladies, wooed them right out of their burqas. She
They didn't use burqas in Turkey.
well, she wasn't Muslim. The thing about she was like this was like probably 2011 or something like that. And one of the things I do remember her talking about was her country had at the time from the north was being I think invaded from like that. She said ISIS members at the time, and you can look up news articles. She said there was bombings in Turkey, like IEDs and suicide bombings, and that. And then she was also part of protests where she said she was throwing rocks at police.
Oh,
So that's
well.
about all I remember of that.
Oh my god.
So there we go. There's
I can see like Jen going all revolutionary for Cooch.
oh dude, I was a crazy guy back in the day.
Yeah, like wearing a beret and going like power to the people. I'm fucking this. At some point,
Okay.
it's gonna fall.
So
okay.
let's we will get back on the train here. Now Pedro's taking it too far. Now he's taking it too far.
Sorry.
All right, so Ty, what do we got here, buddy, for perks? We've got a digital copy.
All right, so the digital copy, like I said, is for anyone that's international. Want to make sure that they have a chance to grab the book. Also, anyone that's on the budget, because I understand that people are not having a lot of excess cash right now. And with both digital perks, you're going to get a PDF, and I'll be sending it through Dropbox. And in case anyone's not familiar, you do not need Dropbox to look at it or to download it. So it's just too big to send through a single email. So that's just the way I found it's the easiest to go with, since not everybody has Google. So it's the book. It's got both the covers, the inside cover, all the pages, and then whatever stretch goals we add to it.
Very nice. Wonderful. All right. And that's $3, everybody, just to clarify. So for the physical, we've got $6. Very nice.
It's $6 and plus shipping. And once again, you can do the add-ons, so they'll change the shipping cost if you do that. just because with the 8x10s, I can't use the Gemini mailers, so I have to get a different packaging thing, and it changes the weight slightly to have the 5x7. So once again, when you back that, you'll get the book. I'm going to be signing all copies of the book and the graphic novel. So get the whole thing. Right now, you're also getting the 3 monster pages, and I've got stretch goals in mind for 500, which will be funded for me, 750, and if some miracle happens and I get to 1,200, there'll be one there. And I am doing Gemini mailers. They'll be bagged and boarded, and have some bubble wrap around them to make sure they're as pristine as possible when they get to you.
Very nice. Wonderful. Yep, your last book was shipped with great speed and aplomb, sir. They arrived very nice.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
So the next one should also be a digital, I think, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. So that's going to get you both the Undying Chronicle, The Eyes of Red and Purple, which is the original graphic novel, as well as The First Death, which is this book. It's going to be $10. And once again, everything stretch goal wise will be added to the PDF.
That's close to 100 pages of content, if I'm doing my quick math right. The first book's like 76 pages.
72. So little shy of 100 pages.
There we go. Not bad for $10, gang.
No.
For our friends out there. Okay, and lastly here, the book bundle.
So I still have 10 copies of the first graphic novel. So I thought I'd throw that up as a perk. So if you missed out on the first one and you wanted a copy from the first printing, you could grab that as alongside the new book. Once again, you don't have to read either to understand the other one, but they do go together as, you know, parts of the bigger story of who the Undying is and his adventures roaming through Japan and fighting monsters.
Very nice.
That'll also be Gemini mailers and bag board, and the bubble wrap as well.
So I don't recall if you'd mentioned it. How are you going to be shipping the paintings? Do you have a specific type of mailer for that, or?
The 5x7s will be easy because they'll fit in with the other stretch goals and the comic into the Gemini mailer. They're not that thick. It's just a stretched piece of canvas on like cardboard, or it's probably not cardboard, but it's not. It doesn't have that frame around it.
It's like an illustration board type piece.
Kinda. It's basically that. It's if anyone wants to look it up, they're Artist's Loft, canvas panels, and great for oil and acrylic painting, acid free, and some primer.
I see you, Pedro.
So they fit in with the book, no problem. The 8x10s, though, those are on the canvases that have that little frame going around them. So I do have to get a different box. I have talked to a person at the post office, and there is a type that should work for it. And then I'm not sure if I'll get like a padded envelope for the books themselves when they go in there, or just put a Gemini mailer in with the painting in the box. But either way, I will make sure that it doesn't scratch and bang itself between the two of them.
Right. Yeah. I'd make sure to put like a piece of bubble wrap, like maybe in that spot where the canvas is like got that dent, that hole where it's resting on the wood, right? Because
exactly
get stretched. Like points can like damage that really easily.
I did with the one last time. I packed that with packing paper that I got from when the comics were shipped. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Very nice. And I really dig this, bro. There's this little dash of red right here. It just catches my eye.
Thank you very much.
Okay, great. So, boys, what else we got? We got 10 viewers. Shout out there to viewer land out there in TV land, Don. I mean, she says, "Eat, Paul. What's the good news?" The good news is that our boy here, Ty Ranger's The Undying Chronicles Book 2 is live on Indiegogo.
Live and cruising.
Full show.
Okay, so there's a rumor going around that Ginge might have lettered this book.
This is true. Rumors confirmed.
So how'd you guys meet? Where did this collaboration begin? Sorry for the screaming kids, but there's
okay. No, you're good.
I thought it was in my head, man. Thank you.
Is that what it sounds like up there, buddy?
Sometimes.
Oh man, Jesus. No, but to answer your question, so I don't remember specifically, but I know it was just definitely through like the Death Curse neck of the woods, probably on the Geronimo draw streams, and just and Ty said I reached out to him. So I don't remember specifically, but yeah, it was. I don't even think I was lettering at the time. Spells and Superheroes must have probably been out, but yeah, we've been I'd say friends for like the last 2 years.
Yeah. I'm not sure either. I know Death Curse was involved, and maybe I think it was just a bunch of different live streams, and then starting following each other on Twitter.
Right.
And then when I was saying something about looking for shows, that's when I know you DM'd me for sure. I don't know if we were DMing before that or not.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yep. Wonderful. Yeah. And after Mr. Ang here.
Again, you didn't letter Spells and Superheroes, right?
No, that was Keith Gleason from the Mighty Mascots. Yeah. Who did a great job. Yeah. And was part of my inspiration for just picking up lettering myself. Him and Pete Sametti both.
Mm-hmm.
My dog is asleep barking at my feet. I don't know if you can hear that.
Oh, he's dreaming, having puppy dreams.
He's chasing rabbits, man.
But no, I had a great time doing this, and actually, for those that caught Tropical Magics, I actually borrowed some of what I learned on that book for these more textured letters right here. I'm pretty sure I got these from the Blambot website, which is the dude that did How to Letter Comics, which for anybody looking to learn, that's what I learned. And that book will teach you pretty much everything you need to know. But that burn and the bub, right? Yeah, these are straight out of some stylings.
Huh.
Yeah, straight out of Panama, if you will.
Yeah, I lettered the graphic novel, and I gotta say, Ginge, I'm glad you decided to letter, because that was my least favorite part of the whole thing.
Yeah, it takes a kind of person to pick that up and do it well. And Ginge, my boy, man, like he told me, "Pedro, I want to letter Tropical Magic." I'm like, sure, why not? I wasn't expecting much. Like, to be completely honest, like, this is my first job. Like, okay, I think he'll do a serviceable job. But dude, you did great.
Thank you,
buddy. Yeah, I'm really happy with what you did here too, man.
Yeah.
God bless y'all. Yep, I had a great time, and I look forward to working on the rest of the series. So, yeah.
There you go.
As long as I don't micromanage.
Right. Well, we'll have that discussion on a separate day, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
No, I gotta say, I really appreciate that Ginge was candid and right up from the beginnings. Like, if there's a major thing, I'll change it. Otherwise, I'm going to letter it the way I want to letter it. That's why you're hiring me to do it. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
Dude, he pulled that off on you?
You know me, man. I throw my weight around.
I suplexed the shit out of him when we came up with that sass. It was like, hell no, you're doing what I say.
I know from lettering my first book that if Ginge let me, I probably would have steamrolled over him with being OCD.
No,
like,
dude. Like,
can you move this over? Like, just 2 clicks on the keypad. Just 2 clicks. No, move it back.
No, I'm talking that on my ass, man. He just showed me what he did. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Ty made me sound a bit more, I don't know what about that than I exactly. But no, it was like, yeah, it was just, as a guy. I like to work a certain way, but I definitely am fine with corrections. But I know Ty is a little bit more OCD. I mean, I know, I wouldn't talk like that to every client. That's insane. But a friend that I can be candid with, like you said, that's, and especially if it's, not just me. I think our editor also sort of is aware of some of these issues. I think she had my back on that at one point. So
yeah,
I'm not so crazy.
No. I'm saying it was me. That it's a good thing you did that. I'm not giving you crap for doing that.
Ginge went like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and you're gonna shut up.
There was a little bit of that too.
You were willing to hear me out on everything too. Let me make sure I say that. Like,
I'm kind of hoping that's what happens with the Crom Ash Can, is that Ginge just does what he wants to do, because that's kind of how I leave it out there. I put it out there, do whatever you want. Just
send it my way. I'm always accepting lettering jobs, just FYI for anybody out there.
Just remember, he gonna do what he gonna do.
You play it by my rule.
All right.
And just because now I feel bad, like I went after you or something.
You did, buddy.
Oh my God, I'm not gonna let this go ever.
Hey, I'm not the one that went on the margarita tequila thing for 10 minutes there, man.
Hey, the margarita tequila thing is, dude, I show Panama to tourists, and I have to do research, sir.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, it's work.
Turkish coffee.
Yeah,
but I wanted to say that having Ginge's letter also changed the art for how the next book is going.
Oh,
and
cool.
Can you go up to the first page of the book?
Sure.
Yeah, right there, where he's on the table.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. Damn you! Gotta get a new mouse. This thing freezes on people's crotches. It's very embarrassing. Go ahead.
So in my head, I left all that space because my first book had giant bubbles, and I don't think Ginge and I were talking about doing the lettering quite yet. This was a while back. So I thought of like just two big bubbles, one on each side of his head, and that's why there's all that space. But it gives more like texture, more negative space. I like how that worked out with the art.
Yeah.
And now that I see like how Ginge would put that lettering in, I know that I could do it a different way and there would still be room for the lettering. So I can do more with the art than I was previously. So I think that's a real good benefit that came from working with Ginge. And same with Kayla and working with her and her being able to tell me, no, we're not going down that path. You guys are both super great about it, and it definitely improves the books immensely. So
wonderful.
That's all I was trying to say, man.
No, you're good, buddy. Pedro's really the instigator here, just sort of throwing shit at us.
All I get is, I'm going to
pitting us against each other.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
But no,
it's a style of working, man. I respect it.
Yeah, no, I agree though. As far as the negative space goes in this panel, it actually adds a lot of drama.
Actually, the negative space allows this panel to breathe though. So not having like all the words in one balloon, and now I'm serious. Composition-wise, it helps. It leads the eye. Like, you know what I mean?
I agree, and I think it would have looked crowded the way I did it, and probably a little bit too focused on his chest.
Exactly. This, you start on the face and then you go down. Okay, like he's on the floor. Why is he on the floor? You know what I mean? So it helps with the storytelling.
Well, I'm glad that it works for you guys too. When I got these pages back, I was really happy with them, and really cool for Ginge to offer to do the lettering.
Yeah, my pleasure. Had a great time. Looking forward to the next one. Okay.
Me too, buddy.
Wonderful. So, what else do we got, boys? We're coming up on an hour and a half here. I got a room full of dogs to feed. Ty, do you have anything else to add, buddy?
Not really, unless you want one of the pages I have for the next book, but that's the only thing extra I got right now.
Do you have one you can share?
I believe so. Give me 2 seconds to find it and put it up.
So let me clarify this too, real quick. As far as you going on other shows, since we've got the ear of some listeners here,
is this an
No.
exclusive? Is this going to be the first time this is ever seen?
I can do one that's going to be the first time it's ever seen.
Wow,
It
we're
was
gonna
the
pop a
exclusive.
cherry on a
It was the
page.
juice.
All right.
We can set that up.
jeez,
Hey,
I like it.
Wow.
a bus full of
You
kids
changed
fell
the
into
one
a
I was
river.
going to go with. I need to
Yeah.
have more epic now.
Yeah, I'm looking for some papers to shuffle together real quick.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
fix my shirt.
Here in the news. No.
Back to Pops with sports.
Yeah.
Pops.
A man of 50 went into a bathroom. Okay.
100 people died today in a forest fire.
Fire.
There we go.
There-
All right,
A
here
lady
is your
beat his
exclusive.
name on the wall. Okay. Here we go.
Sure
All
is.
right. Oh,
All right.
Katana action. Nice. Showing.
Very nice, brother.
Like it.
Thank you. I'm trying to play more with lighting on this one.
Hmm.
So like dappling and beams of light coming through.
Definitely. That's going to be a new word I use around the house now.
What? The beam of light?
No, dappling.
Oh, dappling. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard it before.
I learned
Okay.
it from a book
There you
because I
go.
had to look it up.
Very nice, though. That's what books are for.
Yeah,
let's
that's
not
how you
forget.
expand vocabulary, and that's how language evolves. So kudos to you, sir.
Kudos to books as well. Let's just go ahead and give everybody props then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great stuff, bro. Again, I had a pleasure working on the project. Have a pleasure chatting with you behind the scenes, of course. Congrats on being almost halfway funded within at least like the first 12 hours, right? I think we're still in that time period.
It was funded within the first 12 hours. I think we're 16 hours now. I launched at midnight my time, so it's almost 6.
All right, gang.
We'll definitely be talking about it, though. We'll get it out there. We'll get it seen, bro. This will be
Right. And
Very much appreciated. And thanks
just-
for having my back on the show all 4
Yeah, no
times.
problem. Yeah,
Yeah,
no
man.
problem, man. Yeah. And sorry if we get dispersed at times. That's the
Dude,
nature
it's your
of the
show. I'm here.
Yeah.
It's our world. You're just living in it, buddy.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I'm just kidding.
I'm
No,
just happy,
uh,
like Pop said earlier, man. Just
Yeah.
anyone that I can get to get more eyes on the project, because I love these books. I really hope other people are going to love them too, but they're not going to know they exist if it's not for shows like you or Pop's blasting out stuff on Facebook. So I appreciate it.
everywhere.
And making us look official. Jesus.
We actually have like 40 shows on our network, dude. There's a lot of other people with different audiences in our network that you can talk to and get on their shows. So, we'll talk.
Sounds great, man. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah. Okay, guys. So let's see, gentlemen, Ty and Pops. Well, Ty, I'm going to bump you to the back. Pops, you're free to go as well. Pedro and I are going to do our usual closeout here. Thank you again, buddy, for coming.
I'm just
Ty and
going to
Pops.
hang out. I'm just going to hang out so I can play some ads at the end. You do your thing.
Okay, great. All right. So thank you again, Ty, for coming, and good
Thanks
luck
for
on the
having me.
campaign, buddy. And you are free to do your thing.
Bang.
Pedro.
Yeah.
Percival, excuse me. Percival McGangilligoody.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. No.
Okay, man.
Dude,
So,
looking good, man. Looking good. Best of luck
Yeah.
to Ty on his
Sure.
second book, man. Like, we're getting older. Jesus.
Yeah.
People on their
Yo,
second
yes.
book and stuff.
I know. I'll have to check the official date, but we are coming up on year 2 of the show. So that's
Oh my
very
God.
interesting. Yeah,
Wow.
buddy. How about them apples? Never thought I'd have a YouTube show for 2 years.
We are stubborn. Yeah.
Yeah. That's also part of the key, everybody, is you have to refuse to die.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to keep doing, you can't die.
Even if they shoot you in the face, don't die.
Next week, we have a first-time guest, Nicholas Mueller of the Demon Hunter Raven series. And, I
well.
forget his universe at large, but he just released a book that I think contains all of his characters, and that's on Kickstarter. So that's next week.
All right.
And, yep, he's a great guy, a great business-minded dude, and knows his way around the indie crowdfunding scene at this point. So decided to pick his brain. Yeah, this looked like I was tweaking his nipples, but that was not the case.
That's brains.
This
are
would
not
be that, but I don't think he would like that.
Brains are not shaped like that.
You're right.
More of a.
This is more of a tickle or an itch.
A tickle, yeah, an itch.
All right. Okay.
I think we better get the hell out of here.
Yeah, we'll leave the nipples and brains alone for another day. But we do want to thank everybody. Don, thank you for coming by. Chris, Sugar Chris, you rock, buddy.
Yeah.
Sketching Guy, Nevada, thank you, buddy. Good luck on your sketching.
Yeah.
Sketchy
guy. Nice.
Hey. White Fire Comics, thanks for coming by. Christian Zaffo, yep, in September. Dun, dun, dun. I've seen that band live. Cool in the Gang.
Cool in the Gang? Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, they came to my town. It was fun.
All
right, everybody. Pops, take it away.
Yeah.
Madness Entertainment Group presents the Madness Comic Network with original programming and additional comic-related content.
The Civil War was America's bloodiest conflict. Over 500,000 died to preserve national unity. When the war ended, Confederates like Harley Brogdon headed west, shooting game for the Army and gambling. When a card game turns deadly, Harley shoots in self-defense, killing the card sharp who threw down first. Wilfred Knorr, the card sharp's wealthy father, will stop at nothing to see Harley hang. Harley flees to Cobb's Gap, an old silver mining town at the foot of the Rockies. A remarkably peaceful town, especially after dark. But the sheriff harbors a dark secret, and no one dares go into the mines anymore. Cobb's Gap is full of secrets. People speak in hushed tones of something in the mine. Something worse than their cursed sheriff. Something even the Indians fear from the deepest pits of hell. Every secret will be exposed. Bronze Star. Order your copy at bronzestarcomic.com.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.